Invisible Debt. Chapter 1, Catching a Cheater in Bed. What are you two doing? A terrified shriek pierced through the still of the morning. Su Yao opened her blurry eyes. After she had a good look ahead, her mind suddenly drew a blank. To her surprise, she was naked under the covers with Licheng. Her clothes were sprawled all over the ground, with her pink panties stood out among the pile of clothes. But most importantly, her black lace bra hung around Licheng's neck. They could see just how rough last night's activities were. Su Yao looked at the scene before her eyes in utter astonishment. Her virginity that she had preserved for over 20 years was lost just like that. Although she liked Licheng for 10 years, she never imagined that she would hand over her virginity so ambiguously. She always cherished her virginity and hoped that one day, when he gave her his heart, she would personally give him the virginity that she treasured. But now, who could tell her what happened? How did she end up sleeping with Licheng? Su Yao didn't know whether to be happy or sad. She just had a little headache from the scene before her eyes. It hurt especially when she saw Licheng's actual girlfriend, Zhou Tong, standing at the door, looking at them with shock on her face. The shriek startled Licheng awake. His gaze swept sluggishly across the clothes strewn across the floor, before it finally fell on Su Yao's face. His blurry eyes slowly turned to hatred. Su Yao, you are my best friend. I always treated you like a good sister. I never thought that you'd ever do this to me. Tears fell from Zhou Tong's face. I know that you like Licheng, but you know how much I love him. How could you do this to me? She said with a completely pained look on her face. I didn't, explained Su Yao in a panic. I don't know what happened either. I don't know how I ended up sleeping with Licheng. Zhou Tong, believe me. Large teardrops slid down Zhou Tong's face as she shook her head. Su Yao, you've already slept with Licheng now, and yet you tell me to trust you. Am I so easily fooled? If the two of you are truly in love, you could have just told me. I'd have given you two my blessing. But please, don't keep me in the dark like an idiot. Tong, things are not what it looks like. Seeing Zhou Tong in terrible pain broke Licheng's heart. He randomly put on a jacket, got up and walked over to her. Her and I have nothing going on. Hear me out. I don't want to hear it. I don't. Zhou Tong shook her head frantically and took a step back like she encountered something scary. Don't come closer. I beg you. Don't say anything and don't come over. With that said, she suddenly spun around and ran off. Zhou Tong, yelled Licheng. Just as he raised his foot to go after her, the door suddenly slammed shut. He only had a big, wide jacket on, no shoes, nor trousers. How could he go out like that? Licheng's every word and action didn't just represent himself. They also represented the whole of S.T. Inc. He spun around and glared menacingly at Su Yao's face. He looked at her like she was a pile of gut-wrenching trash. He was obviously waiting for her explanation. Su Yao's heart ached. In the past, Licheng may have looked at her with a distant look in his eye, but it was peaceful. Unlike now, they were full of hatred. Licheng, everyone was drinking together last night. I also had a lot to drink, and have no idea what happened. It was Zhou Tong's birthday last night, so Licheng deliberately rented the entire floor of the bar in celebration. Although Su Yao didn't really want to see them act lovey-dovey, Zhou Tong was her childhood friend of over 10 years and she invited her so enthusiastically that she didn't have the heart to refuse. And so, she came. Last night, everyone partied till really late in the evening. Su Yao was forced to drink a lot and passed out early. Till now, her mind was still hazy and she just couldn't remember what happened last night. Nor did she have any clue how she ended up sleeping with Licheng. Seeing that she repeated the same few words from start to end, a hint of annoyance flashed across Licheng's face. His pitch-black eyes became even more ominous, frighteningly ominous. Su Yao knew about Lu Licheng's temper and how he always kept his word and despised evil people. Since he took over as Tianq and became the most sensational and desired bachelor, far too many women threw themselves at him. They plotted all kinds of ways to bump into him. There were women who deliberately crashed their car into his to break the ice. There were others who wore miniskirts in front of him and deliberately picked things up. There were also others who wore provocative clothing and secretly got in his car to trap him. All the women who dared scheme to get him never had a good ending. If she pissed him off, she was afraid that she would end up completely defeated like those other women. Su Yao shriveled up in the corner, tightly clutching the corner of the bedsheet in her hands. Her face was deathly white, as she looked at Lu Licheng with pure horror. Although she knew that Lu Licheng wouldn't believe her, she still tried to explain herself. Licheng, I admit that I really like you. But in all these years, you should know what kind of person I am. No matter how much I like you, I wouldn't use dirty tricks on you. Won't you believe me? I really don't know what happened last night. Do you also want to say that I forced you last night? That you were wronged and that you are innocent? Lu Licheng spoke with annoyance in his voice. He didn't hold back with the final word, as he spoke with disdain and dreary tone. No, that's not it. You didn't force me. So you admit it. Su Yao, it's been 10 years. You finally got what you wished for. You got in bed with me. You are a real whore. Thanks for listening to the Bravonovel audiobook. Welcome to download the Bravonovel app. Read the novel Invisible Debt online and get the latest updates.